What's up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the ever-charming Dr. Disaster, and I'm really conflicted on how I feel about Bethesda these days. On the one hand, they have Doom: The Dark Ages coming out in a few short months, and the trailer for that game looked awesome.
Give me a hell yeah!
On the other hand, a lot of the other stuff that they've done recently, particularly in their Elder Scrolls styled games, in other words, their own particular brand of RPGs, those games have fallen flatter than a Veilguard chest. I could go on and on about Fallout 76, for example, but Starfield is one of the more disappointing games to have come out in a long time. As a major fan of the Elder Scrolls series, I was really looking forward to what was essentially being billed as Elder Scrolls in space, but that is not what we got.
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Starfield ended up being arguably the blandest, most flavorless RPG that I had seen in a long-ass time. Naturally, the critics talked it up and made it sound amazing, but the players had a pretty meh reaction to it over on Metacritic. And over on the Steam page, the game has been absolutely brutalized. People don't care much for this title, which is why it is so disheartening to hear that at least a portion of Elder Scrolls 6 may be inspired by the likes of this game.
No, God! No, God, please, no!
YouTuber Colt Eastwood claims to have gotten inside information about Elder Scrolls 6. Pirate Nation reposted this scoop and summarized it as you can see here, including the rumor that Bethesda is going to reveal the game in July, which is exciting. We have been living on breadcrumbs with regards to Elder Scrolls 6 for years now, but in any event, at least a portion of the game is being described as inspired by Starfield. And I don't know about you guys, but when I hear that, I have a few choice words that I'd like to aim in Bethesda's direction.
Shit-eating son of a bitch! Bastard! Douchebag! Twat! Dickhead!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you smash the like button on this video to drive away the evil algorithm monster, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet, and don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster 1. But let's analyze this so-called leak that is coming out about Elder Scrolls 6. This is just about the first news that we've gotten about this game since this trailer that's been playing in the background was released 6 years ago. It is absolutely unreal that we have been waiting this long for a true follow-up to Skyrim. It's been damn near 14 years since Skyrim, and considering how long it's been, and considering how awful many of the Bethesda games have been lately, I think it's fair to be afraid that Elder Scrolls 6 will let us down. I mean, this is not the same studio that it once was. People leave. New people get hired, and 14 years is a long time. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing I want more in the world of video games than a new, awesome Elder Scrolls game, but skepticism is warranted. That being said, let's read this leaked information. It apparently originates from Colt Eastwood, but this tweet is a more digestible form. Of course, as always, keep in mind that these are just rumors, so it's always possible that this stuff ends up being incorrect, but it at least sounds plausible. The post says, first details on The Elder Scrolls 6, game is going to be more immersive with fast loading times. Okay, That sounds good. I'm not sure that in 2025 we should be bragging about loading times, but okay, I'll take it. The game takes place in Hammerfell and High Rock. Based on that announcement trailer from 6 freaking years ago, High Rock was always the expectation as to what we were seeing in the background. The geography definitely looks mountainous. It looks like the place that the Bretons live in. So that would mean that Bretons and Redguards are the main races of people that we will be interacting with. Okay, that sounds good, but then here's where things go a bit off the rails for a lot of people. Apparently, the game will have naval battles, shipbuilding, and underwater exploration inspired by Starfield, and that is just a big no from me. In Starfield, it feels like they made a big deal out of the idea that you could explore space, but it was all done with menus and shit like that. That was one of the biggest bummers in the game. And what was worse, it felt like they put so much effort into creating the illusion that you were exploring space, that you were a spacefarer, that the worlds that you visited ended up feeling empty and redundant. They didn't put enough time into the actual worlds that you were supposed to be playing in. When I played the game, I remember encountering the same exact tunnel design 4 times in a row when I went into little dungeons, all on different planets, mind you. It was an uninspiring and very boring and repetitive design. So hearing that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be inspired by Starfield in any way whatsoever does not sound very good to me. That being said, according to the leak, if we keep reading, it says that dragons will return. And I mean, that's pretty much non-negotiable. Battling dragons was such a massive part of Skyrim, it was so appealing that there was no way that dragons couldn't exist in some way or another in the next Elder Scrolls game. I'm really hopeful that they will add several more humongous monster types to fight against so that it isn't as repetitive as the dragon battles in Skyrim. Fighting against hydras or something like that could be really awesome. Anyhow, the game will have 12 to 13 big cities, and I hope that when they say big cities, they mean actual cities and not the tiny things that we've encountered before. I understand that there were system limitations back when Oblivion and Skyrim came out, and I don't mean to criticize them too much, but Whiterun, the central city of Skyrim, was smaller than most small towns in Podunk, USA. So hopefully, when they say big cities, they actually mean that they'll be big. But then it says the progression system is much more flexible, abandoning classes for a natural progression, and I sincerely do not know what this means. One of the most appealing components of Skyrim was the fact that it was already an extremely flexible progression system. You weren't tied to a class at all. You could select perks from any of the skills that you wanted. So I'm not sure what they mean when they say that this new game is abandoning classes. And if any of the lines from this supposed leak is going to make me think that it's all bullshit, this would be the line. But anyhow, reading on, supposedly the game will have fortress and village building alongside settlement building, so it sounds like an expansion of the home building that you could do from the Skyrim DLC. And then it says that the game could be shown in July of 2025, which, if this is true, would suggest that the game might be ready to go like next year or something like that. So, for those of us who have been languishing for over a decade, waiting for a follow-up to Skyrim, this is pretty amazing news. You have to think, Morrowind came out in 2002. 4 years later, in 2006, we got Oblivion. And then, in 2011, 5 years after that, came Skyrim. And then it just kind of stopped. Elder Scrolls Online has absolutely not scratched the itch for those of us who love the series. At the earliest, it will be around 15 years between entries of this series, which will likely go down as the greatest dropped ball in the history of gaming. Though the time between GTA releases is definitely up there as well. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your thoughts on this supposed Elder Scrolls 6 information into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching, me hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.